Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon. I'm back. I'm going to do a video for you guys today. And since I just got my wisdom teeth out a couple of days ago, and talking is not the greatest thing in the world right now, this is as much as I can smile. That's my smile right now. That's me at max happiness. Um, figured I'd do something a little more visually oriented for you guys today. So if you look right here, this is your ultimate character building guide in a small little, tight spreadsheet. Now this was inspired by Seaton's tier list. I don't like doing tier lists on spreadsheets, so I don't think I'll ever do that. I think that's really boring. It's not very visually engaging. But I know Seaton and Cinecalex, the biggest Contest of Champions YouTuber and the biggest Future Fight YouTuber, do a lot of things on spreadsheets to help people build teams. So I figured I'd do something like that for Marvel Strike Force. So this little spreadsheet here tells you a lot of useful things about characters. First off, it'll tell you whether they're PvE or PvP oriented, if you see right in this middle column that I'm clicking on right now. PvE is more raids, Enter the Darkness, campaign, that kind of stuff where you're fighting multiple waves of people. And then PvP is more Alliance War, Blitz, or Arena focused. And then I also note if a character needs to be on a team generally in order to do good right here, and these are the teams that I've noted. And then if a character doesn't really need a specific team to do well, I gave them this little yellow highlight. Now, of course, characters like Minerva right here, she'll do better on a Kree team than she will otherwise. You know, Kingpin does better with villains, Mordo does better with Mystic characters, but they don't need a team to do great. You know, Kree Oracle really needs a team in order to be useful. You know, Groot kind of needs the Guardians to be super useful. You know, Minerva is better with her Kree team, but she doesn't require a Kree team to do great. And then this far column over here, I have notable synergies. Now, these aren't characters who work well together in terms of what their skills do. These are characters that have written synergies with each other. Like in their skills, it says, if this character's on your team, this is the bonus they get. And I included this because there are some characters like, for example, with the X-Men team. Storm does really well with all the other X-Men characters, and a lot of the X-Men characters do well with other X-Men and X-Force characters. Now, of course, Deadpool is an X-Men or X-Force character, but in his own kit, he doesn't require any X-Men or X-Force characters to do well. But I still wanted to note the fact that Deadpool does do better with the X-Men characters, just inherently because of the synergy that they gain from him being on the team. So I included this Cable Deadpool synergy over here. So if you were building a team, you would know, hey, I'm putting Cable on here, might as well put Deadpool. You know, Ant-Man and Wasp don't really have a great team to be on right now. They do well on a tech team or an Avengers team. They do okay, but they're not that great on those teams. But I still wanted to note, hey, if you're using Ant-Man, you're probably going to want to put Wasp on the team too to get the max out of them. And of course, I have this bottom category right here that are purple, the no one cares category. All right, don't even build these characters. They're not good. You know, I know some people like Nebula. Some people are going to be like, hey, if you use them in this really specific mode, they're actually pretty okay. In the grand scheme of things, the characters that are purple are so not useful. They're just not even worth your time to invest in building. I know some of them are mediocre at best, but like Nebula's not that good. You know, these characters are not good. Don't even worry about what teams they work on. You should be more focused on every other character on this list besides these purple characters. And if a character is grayed, that means I didn't think they particularly did well in one mode or the other. That doesn't mean they're bad. I just, you know, Loki and Mordo, I can see them being useful in both PvE or PvP encounters. They're not more leaning towards one side. Generally, if I said a team was green or PvE focused, that means I think they have a lot of buffs that they apply to themselves that keeps energy flowing within the team, or buffs like regeneration that keeps the team alive for multiple encounters. So that's why I put defenders in here. That's why I put the shield team in here. That's why I put the Kree team in here. That's why I put the Guardians team in here. The Wakanda team is put in here because they have their charges that allows them to do really well in raids. And then I also included Thanos, and I gave him the cosmic synergy because his great thing is that he gives energy to cosmic characters when enemies die. So he does sort of need a cosmic team in order to be useful. Then I have my more PvP oriented teams, like the X-Men team. They rely on Phoenix, but Phoenix's gimmick where she dies and then comes back. If a character revives within a match, like when Phoenix dies or comes back as Dark Phoenix, she'll stay dead after the end of that match in a raid. So they're only good really for one node, but they do great in PvP where for each match your team sort of refresh so you can use Phoenix again. Avengers, I just didn't see enough in their kits that allowed them to keep going. They can work okay in PvE, but if I had to say whether they're more PvP or PvE focused, personally, I think they're more PvP focused. The Spider-Man team, they have a lot of removing positive effects from enemy teams and a lot of single target damage. Sort of seem to be pretty focused on PvP. Power Armor team, PvP focused, especially because a lot of them have gimmicks that only work in Alliance War. Hand team, a lot of single target damage. They just generally seem more PvP focused. The Brotherhood team, I'm saying they're more PvP focused because they were sort of designed to take down the Shield team, which was a big PvP team for a while. And they just do more work on shutting down a team's buffs and applying a bunch of debuffs to a team. I think they're really more PvP oriented. And then there's a bunch of characters I have noted around here that are either red or green. For example, Wasp, Ant-Man, I have more PvP focused, and that's because they work on debuffs. Ant-Man has like ability block on specific characters. Who are some other characters of note? Night Nurse, PvE focus or healing, helps keep a team going. Scientist Supreme, I'd say really only good for a one-off in like an arena or something like that, where you have a bunch of characters who debuff themselves, and Scientist Supreme can flip that and you can get the advantage in that single battle. Scarlet Witch and Vision have a lot of ability blocks and are applying bleeds to teams and extending those. I think they're more meant for PvP. Crossbones, AoE, really only good for a one-time use in PvP, generally speaking. And then I have all these other characters right here. Deadpool, very good in PvE because he works well against minions. That makes him a little less useful for PvP. That doesn't mean he can't do PvP, but I think he's better off in PvE scenarios. And then we have some characters like Quake, Mordo, Loki, Kingpin, Mercenary Lieutenant, Minerva, Doctor Strange, Yondu, that I think do well in a lot of different scenarios. Again, Yondu, I marked him as red because I think he does better in PvP because he works by removing buffs from enemies. I think that he does well in breaking apart a team. But as a whole, any characters that are yellow are pretty useful because they can do well in a lot of teams. But a team full of yellow characters is probably going to struggle against a preset team, as I've noted here in the team keys. So I hope this can help you guys build your teams or build for certain modes. If you're struggling in PvP, you can look at these red characters and try to build up some of these. If you're struggling in PvE modes, you can look at some of these green characters and try to build up some of these characters. If you're building up a purple character right now, stop building them up. They're not useful. Nebula's not good. She's super forgettable. And if you're building up a gray character, that means they're pretty good in most modes. Or a yellow character, they're a great character to have to sort of fill in a team. But if you need a team right now that can do great, I'd look to build one of these teams, like these preset teams I have noted by these emojis right here. So if you notice right now, you have a lot of, for example, defenders built up. They're one of the easiest teams to build up. You can look through who I have marked as defenders in this list and try to build up the rest of the defenders so they get a good defenders team. Or say you happen to know you have a lot of the characters with the Avengers tag. Maybe you could look to fill out your Avengers team. Same goes for Guardians of the Galaxy or Wakanda or Kree. And I just hope this can help you guys build your own teams, or help you if you're struggling in PvE or PvP and you sort of need a couple more teams for those modes, or you're trying to figure out who you should use from your roster in each of these modes. I hope you guys can look at this, and this will allow you guys to build your own teams. And I'd love to hear what you guys have to think down below. Do you think I miscategorized someone? Do you think maybe somebody's more PvP rather than PvE focused? I love to hear what you guys have to think down below, and I look forward to updating this in the future. But with that being said, my mouth's a little sore, and what do I know? Because I am just a 17-year-old. Signing off, guys.